Morning everyone. In the previous video regarding in the chapter of this chapter in disasters, we had spoken about the natural disasters which can take a lot of lives and create a lot of havoc in people's life as well as break a lot of infrastructure. Now we're going to talk about the man-made disasters which are equally harmful, and they also cause a lot of harm to humans as well as buildings and infrastructure. So, man made disasters are when they're caused by the mistake or negligence of humans, they're called as man made disasters. But sometimes this disaster happens because of the deliberate action of humans, especially terror attacks and biological disasters. So, they are termed as, sorry, they are termed as man made disasters. Now, the first man-made disaster we will talk about is fires. I think all of us has experienced a fire, though hopefully not in a harmful manner. So, when any inflammable object comes in contact with the other inflammable substances such as coal or petrol, wood, plastic, fires can be caused. And electric short circuits can also cause fires. It is quick to spread and causes huge damage to life and property. One should not pour water on a fire caused by electricity. I don't know how many of you have been listening to news or watching the newspaper articles, but recently a fire broke out in Paltan Bazaar in one of the shops. That was because of the electricity failure or the electric shock. And the poisonous gases released during fire may put a person to deeper sleep, thereby causing intense harm. Because when a person goes off to sleep, deep sleep, he wouldn't even come to know that there is a fire around him and he will get harmed in that fire. The other are terror attacks. I think we all have heard, seen pictures of these terror attacks which are happening all over the world these days, and they are done by deliberate actions of people who have either some political or some religious goals to fulfill. The 9/11 attack, the 26/11 attack, they are all terror attacks. Uh, Whatever we hear, the shelling and all which is happening, people are being killed here and there. All that comes under the heading of terror attacks, and the people who are responsible for these attacks are called as terrorists. I think that term is also very, very familiar with all of us these days. The next disaster is a nuclear disaster. So, any disaster which is involving radioactive minerals, we call that as nuclear disaster. So, uranium, beryllium, thorium, molybdenum, all these are radioactive minerals, and if any of these minerals are involved in a disaster, we call that as a nuclear disaster. So, when the atoms are fused or broken, huge amount of energy is released, causing harm if this energy is not being utilized or channelized properly. During nuclear fission, an atom is split into two, and then these two bombard against other atoms, causing them to split as well. And this produces a chain reaction, and tremendous amount of energy is released. This is what a nuclear fission is. And if you talk about fusion, then two atoms fuse with each other, thereby releasing a lot of energy. The nuclear disasters can be deliberate or accidental both. We've heard about Nagasaki and Hiroshima in Japan. Now this was a deliberate action which caused mass destruction at that point of time. Next is chemical and biological disasters, which I think we all are experiencing these days. So these disasters are caused by accidental release of chemicals into the environment and causes harm to humankind. Now, biological disasters are caused by microbes like bacteria or virus, which can cause a lot of harm to lives. When these microbes are used deliberately to cause harm, then they are termed as biological weapons. So, the coronavirus, which we can see these days, which is we are witnessing very well these days, is nothing but a biological disaster, which hopefully happened by mistake and has taken so many lives all over the world. Then, recently, if you were listening to the news, there was a gas leak in an LG polymer company at Visakhapatnam. Now, this disaster will be termed as a chemical disaster. Accidents, we all hear them every day. It's an event which happens suddenly without any intention, and a lot of people die. Many people die in road accidents daily. Recently, 16 people died on a railway track. This is also an accident. Next problem or disaster is oil spills in the ocean. This is actually an accident, and apart from human lives, aquatic life, that means animals living in the water, in the sea, are also harmed to a great extent. This causes the aquatic animals, since an oil film settles over water, so the sunlight is unable to enter, plus they are unable to get air to breathe, and therefore a lot of animals die because of these oil spills. There are three case studies also given in your book on page 45, 46, and 47. This is about the floods in Assam. Then it is about an oil spill in US and an earthquake of Nepal in the past 10 years. So these three case studies covered past 10 years from 2010 to 2018. So read through this and see how much harm these disasters have caused to humans, animals, as well as to infrastructure. This finishes with the chapter, and we'll discuss it during the Zoom class. Bye bye.